She had 200 friends, and not a single one knew her real name, her real self. Her name was Emily, and on the outside, she had everything. The group chats, the birthday parties, the "you're literally my favorite person" texts. But every night she came home, locked her door, and felt completely alone. Here's what nobody tells you about people pleasers. They're not weak, they're not pushovers. They're actually some of the smartest, most emotionally intelligent people you'll ever meet. They just learned one dangerous lesson somewhere along the way. Love is something you earn, not something you just have. And Emily? She had been earning it her whole life. Quick question before we go further. Has anyone ever called you the nice one? The reliable one? The one who always shows up? Keep watching, because that might not be the compliment you think it is. It started the way it always does. Quietly. Emily was 16 when she first noticed it. Her mom would get this look, this specific silent look, whenever Emily said something she didn't agree with. No yelling, no argument, just disappointment. And 16-year-old Emily decided, without even realizing it, never again. So she stopped sharing opinions her mom wouldn't like. Then she stopped sharing opinions her friends wouldn't like. Then her boyfriend. Then her boss. Then strangers on the internet. By the time she was 26, Emily had become an expert at reading rooms. She knew exactly what to say to make anyone comfortable. The problem? She had no idea what she actually thought about anything. To understand Emily, you have to go back. Way back. Emily was 7 years old. She had just drawn a picture at school. A house, a sun, a family of stick figures. She ran home, burst through the door, and held it up. "Mom, look what I made." Her mom looked at it for a second, then said, "That's nice, honey, but why didn't you color inside the lines?" 7 years old, and already learning that what she made wasn't quite enough. It wasn't abuse. That's the complicated part. Her parents weren't monsters. They were just never satisfied. Her dad was an engineer, precise, logical, high standards for everything. When Emily got a B+ on her math test, he didn't yell. He just looked at the paper, nodded slowly, and said, "What happened to the other 10%? No hug. No, I'm proud of you. Just, what happened to the other 10%? And Emily decided right then, next time I'll get the full 100. Next time he'll have nothing to say. Next time he'll just be proud. Next time never came. Her mom had a different way of doing it. She didn't criticize directly. She compared. "Your cousin Sophie got into Yale, did you hear? The neighbor's daughter is already doing internships. I just want the best for you, Emily." Always wrapped in love, always delivered with a smile, always leaving Emily feeling like she was running a race with a finish line that kept moving. And here's what that does to a child. When love always comes with conditions, when approval always has to be earned, you stop asking, "What do I want?" And you start asking, "What do they need from me to finally be satisfied?" Emily never got the answer, but she spent the next 20 years looking for it in every person she met. Did anyone in your childhood make you feel like you had to earn their love? Not with cruelty, just with silence, or comparison, or a look that said, "Not quite good enough." If yes, just type "me" in the comments. You don't have to explain anything. Just me. And here's the part that nobody talks about. People-pleasing isn't just exhausting, it's a slow identity erasure. Every time you shrink yourself to fit someone else's comfort zone, you lose a tiny piece of who you actually are. Do it for long enough, and one day you look in the mirror and realize you don't recognize the person looking back. Emily had a coworker named Sarah. Sarah called her every Tuesday night to vent. Not sometimes. Every single Tuesday. Emily would pick up every time, listen for an hour, sometimes more, say all the right things. That sounds so hard. You deserve so much better. I'm always here. And she meant it. That was the worst part. She genuinely meant it. But one Tuesday, Emily had just gotten the worst news of her own life. Her doctor had found something. A lump. She needed more tests. She was sitting in her car in the parking lot, hands shaking, when her phone rang. Sarah. Emily stared at the screen for 4 seconds. Then she picked up. Hey, what's going on? She listened to Sarah talk about her boyfriend for 53 minutes. Never mentioned the doctor. Never mentioned the lump. Never mentioned the fear eating her alive. When they hung up, Sarah texted, "You're literally the best friend I've ever had." Emily read it, put her phone down, and sat in that parking lot until it got dark. When was the last time someone asked how you were doing and actually waited for the real answer? Think about it. The breaking point came at a wedding. Her best friend Jess was getting married, and Emily was the maid of honor. She planned everything. The bachelorette trip to Nashville she couldn't afford, put it on her credit card. The dress she hated, wore it with a smile. The seating chart she rebuilt 3 times because Jess kept changing her mind. Day of the wedding, 2 hours before the ceremony. Jess walked in, looked around and said, "Emily, the centerpieces are the wrong shade of white. I said ivory. This is cream. Did you even read my Pinterest board?" No thank you for the 6 months of planning. No acknowledgement of the $2,000 Emily had quietly put on her card. Just wrong shade of white. And Emily said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'll fix it right now." And she did. She ran around for 90 minutes fixing centerpieces and heels. At the reception, Jess gave a speech. She thanked her parents, her new husband, her other bridesmaids. Emily's name came up once. And Emily, who always just handles things. Emily smiled, clapped, took the photo, and on the drive home, she pulled over on the side of the highway. And she didn't cry. She just sat there, completely empty, because she realized something she couldn't unrealize. Jess didn't love Emily. Jess loved what Emily did for her. And those are not the same thing. That night, her little sister Maya called, not to ask for anything, just to talk. And 10 minutes in, Maya said, "Hey, you sound weird. Are you actually okay?" Emily's automatic response was loading. "Yeah, I'm fine, just tired." But something stopped her. Maybe it was the parking lot. Maybe it was the wrong shade of white. Maybe it was 53 Tuesdays of swallowing her own pain. She said, "No, I'm really not okay." And Maya said, "Okay, tell me. Not, what do you need? Not, what can I do? Just tell me." And for the first time in years, Emily talked. Not about anyone else, about herself. And it felt like taking off armor she didn't know she was wearing. Here's what most people don't know. People-pleasing is almost never about other people. It's a trauma response. It usually starts in childhood, in homes where love came with conditions, where you had to perform to be accepted, where conflict felt unsafe. So you learned the rules. Be agreeable, be useful, take up less space. And those rules protected you then, but you're not a kid anymore. And the cage that kept you safe is now the thing keeping you stuck. 3 months later, something shifted in Emily. Slowly, imperfectly, uncomfortably. She started letting people's calls go to voicemail sometimes. She started ordering what she actually wanted at restaurants, not what was easiest. She started saying, "I need to think about it," instead of an automatic yes. And one day, a friend asked her to help move apartments. Emily had plans, real plans. plans she actually wanted. She said, "I can't make it, but I hope it goes smoothly." The friend said, "Oh, okay." And that was it. No fallout, no drama. No one canceled her. Emily stood in her kitchen after that call and laughed. Not because it was funny, because she had spent years terrified of that exact moment. And it was just, okay. So here's the question I want you to sit with today. Not, are you a good person? You probably are. The question is, do the people closest to you actually know you? Not the version of you that says yes to everything. Not the version that never complains. Not the version performing easy to be around. The real you. The one with opinions, with limits, with needs. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. If the only version of you people love is the version that never disappoints them, they don't actually love you. They love your compliance. And you deserve more than that. Before you go, I want you to drop one word in the comments. Just one word that describes how you feel after watching this. Seen, tired, guilty, relieved, all of the above. Whatever it is, write it. Because I promise you, someone else needs to see that they're not alone in this. If this hit different, subscribe. The next story is already waiting for you, and it might explain even more than this one did. See you next video.